Luther King Jr.'s hometown of Atlanta. Georgia Tech getting ready to take on a Duke team that is off to one of its best starts in several years. They've won 10 games in a row.
She has been terrific at all three levels. Her efficiency has gone up in conference play, shooting at nearly 50% from the three-point line. This is a player who's learned to gear down, to let the game come to her. Her decision-making has been better. Her shot selection has been better. And because of that, one of the most efficient players in the country in conference play. And the Blue Devils are a team that is continuing to progress on both ends of the floor, but have been dominant thus far.
For Georgia Tech, wearing the whites and in their road black, trimmed with the Duke blue, the Blue Devils, Cheyenne Day-Wilson is their point guard. Scoring numbers are down, but she's got a lot more help this year. A lot of new faces on this Duke team. Celeste Taylor, you just mentioned her, number 0 in black, has really upped her game in the last few weeks. That one ticks off the backboard, but Taylor hunts the rebound.
Yeah, if you're Georgia Tech, you do a really good job of forcing a tough contested shot. You got to be able to finish that play. Really need to limit Duke's possessions offensively.
Richardson got a good look and buried it. Day-Wilson, just shooting 29% from 3, but nailed that one. And head coach Nell Fortner going back to what was her starting lineup for a couple of games, beginning at Louisville, 3 true freshmen in there.
Yeah, these are 3 freshmen who really play well together. They play at a different pace. And Nell Fortner just needing to find some way to get a win in ACC play.
Kara Dunn is one of them. Gets it over to Blackshear. Laredo well short on her 3-point attempt. So that means that Cameron Swartz, Georgia Tech coming off a loss to Miami. Lost by 9, but they were down 17 at the half and at least made a game out of it.
They certainly showed a lot of promise in the second half. Aggressive offensively, found a way to get some stops on the defensive end, but the consistency or lack thereof for Georgia Tech, and that is the concern for Nell Fortner.
Starting lineup for Duke, and field goal percentage, Duke at the top in those 2 categories. Brown, good ball movement, and they got it to the open player in Reagan Richardson, the Georgia transfer.
And that was a really good decision by Cheyenne Day-Wilson. Keep your dribble alive, stay active, find the open player, get high percentage looks.
Day-Wilson second on the team in assists this year, after leading in that category last season as a freshman. There's one of the freshmen for Georgia Tech. And the shot buried by Blackshear.
We saw Kayla Blackshear on Thursday night knock down 3 or 4 jump shots.
Ooh, Balogun thought about it and then got a better shot.
That's a really good decision by Balogun in transition.
Tony Morgan, the true freshman point guard, with the ball in her hands right now. To Kara Dunn, a little bit too strong, but that's what Juan Arnaz is known for. Day-Wilson picks up her dribble. Balogun takes a step back over Blackshear. And when we talked to her pregame, Coach Lawson was talking about that. She was a player at Tennessee who played the same way. Has been very proud of the effort. Oh, there's a shot. Kayla Blackshear. Okay, Duke kids are smart. Kayla Blackshear can hit from over there.
She can hit from over there.
You might want to go over there.
And getting those driving kicks for her to be able to catch and shoot. I mean, this is a player who a year ago at Alabama was primarily a defender and a rebounder. Nell Fortner says she worked really hard on this jump shot.
ACC Network and the ESPN app, and then we'll take you to North Carolina in that loss to Miami. Katie Meyer's team having an outstanding season. How about Florida State losing to Louisville today?
Yeah.
Gosh, the ACC.
Morgan Jones had a heck of a game against her old team as Blackshear knocks down another jumper.
Already has a couple of rebounds. Day-Wilson had it taken away. This Georgia Tech team, for a team that has lost 5 straight, 6 of 7, winless in the ACC, a spirited shoot-around this morning. They're not hanging their heads. They're sticking together. Just imagine what a win would do for them. Laredo for 3!
When you do make mistakes, playing through them and moving on, not letting them compound, because they have shown flashes of being a really good team.
And a travel. Duke has been stuck on 11 points for a while. And number 11 for Georgia Tech from Aranez. Didn't know she had that in her. Nice little offensive move.
She's been keeping it from you, Ben.
Georgia Tech with the lead. We're under a minute to go. Tied right back up.
Multiple players play double-figure minutes. I mean, they go deep into their bench. They get a lot of production from their bench so they can wear teams down.
Shot clock now down to 5 seconds. It's up to Morgan. Couldn't go in cleanly. Still got the shot off and knocked it down.
Toni Morgan is strong. She's athletic, did a good job of regrouping, staying patient and poised, and finishing that play.
And Georgia Tech hot to end the first quarter. To Jesus, bottled up. The Yellow Jackets, after a slow start, hit 5 of their last 6 shots from the floor.
Nell Partner's just searching. She's searching for a lineup that will give her a good start. She's searching for ways to help this team play better together, more in sync, to play the pace that she wants to play. And right now, it's about consistency. Who can be the most consistent group? And part of that, individually, you have to bring it every day, and you have to be consistent individually. And then it's a little bit easier to put the pieces together.
Jordan Oliver, the Baylor transfer, now in playing the point for Duke, number 11. We talked about Duke's defense a lot. How about Georgia Tech? As the shot clock is
Great
dying,
cuts.
that's terrific. To Ashlyn Jackson. Duke, the only unbeaten team left in the ACC in league play. Blackshear, that's a sweet little move to rid herself of Jackson. 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting against Miami. To Jesus, aggressive to the basket. Jesus at the line. We'll have Duke and North Carolina. Steph's leaving. Should be another good night for women's hoops on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Thursday night, always a lot of fun. Thrilled to be working with Christy Thomas-Scuddy in that game when you go overseas for your other job.
That's right, that's right. 2 great ball games, 2 great matchups.
It's always Duke Carolina in anything,
oh, yes.
right?
No question.
Hermosa, that's Nettie. She has really struggled offensively all year. Hit 8 points in the first half against Miami. De Jesus, good. From the outside. And COVID was deeply affecting every team, every schedule.
She had 11 points Thursday night against Clemson. I mean, she is a capable scorer. And again, we talk about the depth of this Duke team. It's at every position. It's not just at 1 or 2 positions. It's at every position.
Back-to-back double-doubles for Kayla and back-to-back career highs in scoring. First against Wake, where she also had a career-high 13 rebounds and 18 points and 11 boards in a loss to Miami. Balogun at the free throw line. Duke back on top. Morgan, there's some of that stout Duke defense. Blackshear left open momentarily. I mean, she doesn't miss.
Yeah, she's really, really efficient. And what a heady play by Toni Morgan.
And that was intended for Brown. Kara Dunn has not scored for Georgia Tech. Gave it up to Morgan. There's Dunn, had a terrific game at Louisville in her first collegiate start a couple of weeks ago. And they stayed in the starting lineup. Morgan. Wow, the gutsy three.
Well, I think Georgia Tech is just doing a really good job of, number one, taking care of the basketball offensively, giving themselves a chance, moving the basketball, and locking down on the defensive end. They are making things very difficult for Duke in the half court.
Duke only has 7 field goals in this game and 10 turnovers. There's a Tech turnover. Taylor, nice to Day Wilson. Boy, they just can't buy one right now, but it's kept alive brilliantly by Day Wilson, who tipped it over to Taylor, who got her first points.
What a heads-up play by Cheyenne Day Wilson.
Day Wilson, 5'8" sophomore from Toronto. Working hard to try to stick with the Canadian national senior team. Good ball movement again. You're right about that ball reversal. And it pays off for Swartz. Why is ball reversal so important?
Well, number one, it breaks down the defense. You have to get your defense moving. You get them scrambling. But it's not just ball reversal passing around the perimeter. The ball went inside, which causes the defense to suck in as Day Wilson gets an easy 2. And it wasn't sticking. You know, we've seen this team a few times, and players have a tendency to catch and hold. The defense resets, catch and hold. It's not sticking here today, and they are successful because of it.
Aggressive move to the basket by Morgan draws a foul. In fact, they are the best free throw shooting team in the ACC, 78% as a club. With the first miss, gets 1 out of 2. Inside a minute to go in the first half, Georgia Tech leading number 16 Duke. DeJesus, that's a tough shot, the fadeaway, and she was fouled. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was a high percentage shot at all, and now she's got the chance at the stripe. Kelsey Muffet, we have Lexi Brown, the Duke graduate.
Ivory Latta.
Ivory Latta, yes. Getting some of the ACC greats on the network.
And some point guards.
Oh, I know, that makes you happy, right?
That makes me very happy.
They're always the smartest ones, right?
That might be a biased comment.
So an opportunity for Duke to get the last points in the half. Celeste Taylor found a lot of real estate to get her second basket of the game. And Georgia Tech winless in the ACC with a 1-point lead as we head to the studio. And we are underway in the second half. Georgia Tech in the white uniforms, Duke with the black unis trimmed in their royal blue, black sheer. With the miss, Celeste Taylor, just 4 points in that first half. Missed 5 of her 7 shots. Here she is, right off the bat.
Too easy. One of those areas of the game where they've got to learn on the fly. A lot of young players on the floor, important teaching moments each possession.
Here's Morgan back at the line, and you can get some results.
Well, it's a growth process. I mean, Celeste Taylor has always been a player who has been so good at getting to the rim, putting her head down, and just being faster than everyone else. And at the next level, when you play better competition, when you become a better player, you got to learn to gear down at times. You got to learn to change speeds, slow down. You can see more on the floor, make better decisions.
And she's starting to do that. Her efficiency numbers well up in the last few games for Celeste Taylor. Shot clock into single digits. Day Wilson. Taylor, step back 3, got it!
That's what Celeste Taylor's been doing in conference play. She's been knocking down big shots. She's been able to create space. She's been shooting them with confidence. She's had great lift on the ball and has just hit big momentum-shifting shots.
In ACC games, Taylor at 48% from distance coming into this game, and is 1 for 2 this afternoon from there. Celeste Taylor already with 5 points in the first 2 minutes of this quarter, scored just 4 in the entire first half. Kennedy Brown gets her first points of the afternoon.
I'm taking them off of the catch. I'm taking them in rhythm. I'm not shooting step back threes unless I'm confident.
That is not good. Georgia Tech has won 2 of the last 3 in this series, including a win at Duke last year, but Georgia Tech was a much different team. Lost a lot of veteran leadership and talent. That is terrific.
She's quick in the change of possession. She's relentless on both ends of the floor.
We've seen some amazing fans across the ACC. We need your help this winter. The ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. Swartz working hard to get open. The BC transfer, but Celeste Taylor, who Coach Lawson says is her best defender, with a terrific finish after the steal. Jackson, off glass. Coming off the bench for the 3rd time this season. Her first points of the game. She and Swartz are the 2 high scorers on the season for them, combining for 24 points per game, but Duke continues to score.
They can bring in a lot of firepower from the bench. They can have a lot of numbers that go after you on both ends, so they're able to play at this pace for the entire ball game.
Celeste Taylor taking over in the 3rd quarter. Nell Fortner has to take yet another timeout. Just like that, Duke's up 10. Hermosa setting the high screen, but Morgan going the other way. So Georgia Tech, their offense, Kara Dunn has not scored for them in this game. Jackson can score in bunches.
I think this is an interesting look for Georgia Tech to have Bianca Jackson playing off the ball with Toni Morgan. She's a capable 3-point shooter. She can stretch the floor. You know, and just my observations from our 3 games against Georgia Tech, finding ways for Bianca Jackson and Cameron Swartz to impact the game when they're not scoring. You know, when I'm looking at this from a coach's perspective, if they're not scoring, they're not doing anything else. And you need your senior leaders to do something, whether it's assisting, whether it's getting defensive stops, whether it's rebounding. Impact the ball game in other ways.
Morgan back to the line in a big game against North Carolina, taking on Miami, and then it's Duke, North Carolina, in the nightcap on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Good stuff coming our way. North Carolina right now pulling away from NC State late in that game. Kennedy Brown in the paint. Oh, dribbling right into trouble. Corsdale just took it away. Here's a 3-on-1. Sweet pass from Taylor. Duke with 14 paint points this quarter, only had 8 in the entire first half. Georgia Tech, we talked about how this team can't afford to turn it over, and they're doing it now. Taylor couldn't rescue. Jackson one-on-one with Oliver. Gets it to go.
That's a great take and finish by Bianca Jackson in transition. Got to get a stop right now if you're Georgia Tech, but Duke is really good. When they slow it down, they get executing their offense. So many handoffs, so many split screens, so many actions to defend.
Inside, it's Brown with the chance at the 3-point play. Brown, 6'6" junior from Derby, Kansas.
And you know, right now you feel like Georgia Tech's offensive struggles have affected their defensive energy and intensity as well.
Yeah, Kara Dunn still has not scored. Morgan off the mark. Blackshear. First points of the second half. Kennedy Brown's first foul sends her to the line to try to complete the 3-point play. Another whistle.
Loose ball. Looks like Kara Dunn just runs into Kennedy Brown.
First foul on Dunn. Jordan Oliver running the point now for Duke. Good look. And a great result for Corisdale.
Well, Ashley Jackson made that happen. She made it happen because when Bianca Jackson jumped out and stopped her from using the on-ball screen, she didn't pick up the dribble. She kept it alive and attacked.
Jackson looking to score all the way. And a great third quarter for Duke as they outscored Georgia Tech 25-13. Turned it up on defense, resulting in some nice looks on offense. And the Blue Devils lead 52-41. Long Adanez to Blackshear.
That was the best ball movement and offensive execution that Georgia Tech has had in the second half. Multiple players touched it, and you end with a high percentage look.
Brown left open. Knocks down the shot. Scoreless first half. Shot clock into single digits now for Jackson. Eastern actually on Saturday, and then follow that with NC State, North Carolina at 5 Eastern. In the ACC, North Carolina has beaten NC State on the women's side today, 56-47. And would have been a nip and tuck game. Balogun, hard work paying off.
That was great execution.
Hermosa gets it over to Dunn. Shot clock winding down. Blackshear, great look from the baseline. Hermosa with the putback.
This is where Duke is so good. They're disciplined in this half court. They utilize the shot clock. They wait till they get great shots.
Right now, Georgia Tech, you said it during the break, they need to get a run. They had one in them against Miami on Thursday. Do they have one in them now? One pass too many.
If you're Georgia Tech, you've got to start these runs with stringing multiple stops together.
James Swartz guarding DeJesus out front. Swartz with 3 points today, coming off the bench again. Very good score at Boston College last year. Hermosa with the rebound. Cam Swartz was the most improved player in the ACC last year, first team selection. Blackshear couldn't handle it.
Got to be able to at least get a shot off. So 2 possessions in a row where there's no shot attempts.
Georgia Tech with 8 turnovers in the first half, 11 and counting here in the second half. Taylor working on Dunn. DeJesus finding space on the baseline when it looked like there wasn't any.
DeJesus is a player who knows and understands her role. She comes in and she's always under control. She's able to facilitate the offense, get everybody where they're supposed to go, and she is a capable scorer. I mean, this is just a terrific play. Great drive, drift, head and shoulder fake, no rotation on the backside, and easy 2.
9th in the nation in field goal percentage defense, 4th in scoring defense.
Only allowing 0.65 points per possession.
Kennedy Brown, pardon me, with the block, had 5 blocks in the first half against Clemson in their last game.
And they do it differently than a team like Miami, for example, who wants to turn you over, get out in transition. This is a very disciplined team that just makes everything difficult. They keep your percentages low. They force you out of your comfort zone, and they will turn you over for scores, but that's not necessarily the identity. And then you see in possessions like we've had the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter where they utilize the shot clock, they move it side to side. Smart, disciplined basketball in the half court. It's just a great one-on-one move by Balogun in traffic. The secondary defender comes late, and she's able to get the finish.
As we hit a minute to go in the game. Cato with the miss. Got the offensive rebound momentarily, but Celeste Taylor.
You know, it's finding ways to play through it. Again, finding ways to impact the game in other ways. And that's a growth process for any young player. So good.
Brown. Oh, DeJesus, couple of offensive rebounds on that trip for Duke. DeJesus off the bench today with 9 points. And Duke with its 11th straight win, 16th win of the season. They remain unbeaten in the ACC. Well, Georgia Tech struggling there in the second half as Duke put that defense in high gear.
Well, we've seen what Duke has been doing all season long on the defensive end of the floor. They turn it up another level. They stay disciplined to their concepts, their schemes, and then they find ways to get themselves going on the offensive end of the floor.